See, that's already settled, because they had to stretch the time. So now wait a minute, you take $10 million to find him, so now you take a worldwide manhunt, or search to find him, you got all the crimes in the world crying. You know what I'm saying and stuff, you got niggas going, oh, let me go see him. And you mean to tell me, you gonna find the damn body, cremate the body, and break the damn body up in fucking damn 24 hours, and you believe that bullshit? That's the new thing. When they want you to find out about something, they get rid of your ass by fire now. Ask my majority daddy about this shit. So you get ass right up. See what I'm saying? You gotta understand all the time. It's not just look at the science. You gonna cremate a body? Okay. You say, well, first of all, they say, well, you know, he's a Catholic and they don't supposed to cremate. But the Pope says, all right. But you gotta understand science and understand sociology. These people are traditionalists. The elite are traditionalists. If the Pope says it's all right, it might be all right to grow up a little Catholic-ass girl guy, you know, like 8 millimeter, a little poor-ass Catholic girl guy, and got shot. Some rich white man, you know, did some sex act on her, and they shot her ass up, and they said, well, she a Catholic. Well, cremate her ass. She ain't nothing but some poor ass anyway. But when you talk about killing, they're going to have a traditional damn burial. Now they know some shit to go down the way they want to go out. Okay, who were the other girls? Catholics. Huh? Were they Catholics? Then they say, you know, well, he was qualified to be buried at sea. Well, yeah, what about the other two girls? They weren't qualified. Well, you can say they can bury the wife. But what about the other sister? How fucking claim their side of it? Going to be buried like this? What the fuck she got to do with the damn wife? You understand? See what I'm saying? They buried all 3 of them. You see what I'm saying? They buried all 3 of them. Now, hell, they can keep bodies up for months. You see what I'm saying? And can it funny that early that morning, when they first saw he was missing, they said they had another person with his ass? Or they struck it and didn't end up being there? That's always the key. Now, how somebody on fly a plane with license to say that you can't fly at night and you can't fly alone? And in bad weather. You gonna fly at night in bad weather with 1 foot. And you say, oh, you know, I got license to say I can't fly at night. Okay. I can't fly in bad weather. Okay. I gotta go swim. Okay, but then you gonna take your damn wife and her sister and put the other plane too, and she so happened there was a report that she was pregnant. You understand what's going down here? When you just so convenient to get ready to turn 40, the time when they start to run for president, you know what time the damn John said he was running. Shit, everybody all look way down they go. Everybody's gonna be president. Shit. But my point here is, it's all a ritual. Now, the day of the actual funeral, which just so happened to be on the eve of July 23rd, get the cosmic trigger. The cosmic trigger with a rubber and compost and read it all over 23. And how most out-of-body experiences start happening on these days with the height of the summer solstice of that particular apex point of Leo the lion, which is also the Lion of Judah and the Christ. Christian iconology. Pre-Christian iconology, they call it pre-Christian. We talk about African science. So July 23rd, they don't stretch the dog funeral out to be buried or whatever, buried at sea, the day before July 27th. But the actual date of the actual burial, they came on TV and said the first father was buried by horse and carriage. The second son, or whatever, the second, or they said, this is what they said. They said the first ritual, because I can't believe I'm hearing this shit. But I heard it on CBS and I turned to ABC and they said the same shit. I turned to NBC, which was an hour before I heard it. They said the same thing. They said the first ritual was by horse and carriage. The second ritual was by plane, because you know why they put him on the train. And the third ritual was by sea. I'm like, look at that, that's what it is, shit. Then they got tape recordings of actual joint activity talking about we came from the sea. The salt in the sea is the same stuff that's in the blood. They played it on the 3 channels, they played it on the one on McNeil Mirror, and they also played on Entertainment Tonight. I said, what was it? I said, they just come out with it. I said, I never even hear this. come up with this shit, you know, whatever. But they're just coming right out saying this thing was a ritual. Just like it was the arcane ritual of impeachment. They kept saying that. You see, I'm like, look at this shit right here. Then they went on, and on 48 hours or whatever this thing is, they had this thing. They were talking about what is the mystique of the Kennedys, they said the mystique of the myth. Then they say they explain what mystique is in the dictionary. Then they explain what myth is in the dictionary. I'm like, what is this shit is? Okay, it was right before the July 23rd, which was the summer solstice. I said, this is a grand ritual. But they kept saying America's son. I said, wait a minute, kid, it's John American Lee. You know, who knows what it was? And he started dating down Anna. 2 years back and shit, you know what I'm saying? America, no motherfucker was all right, so who is this nigga? America's son. He got America's son. America's son, what is this? Oh, son, S-O-N-S-U-N. You're right. Okay, I'm getting it now. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you look at the science on this, they was calling, you know, they called British things, British royalty, King Arthur's court, Camelot. Right. But you also have the new Camelot, they call the Kennedy thing, Camelot. Now we know the whole Camelot thing comes out of Egypt, Black Lot, Cam, Egypt, Camelot, Black Lot, New Lot. But we also know that the real Camelot that was supposed to be a prophetic Camelot, that does not come by the way of Britain. Britain stole the story from Ireland. Both Irish and the Scottish had the story of a place that will be rise up at the ends of the earth, the land far, far away, not established yet. Which is supposed to be the Camelot, which was talking about America. So also when you move to Highlander 1, where Sean Thomas said we will have a gathering in the land far, far away, not established yet. So the Camelot thing, the British conquered Irish, the Scottish, and the Irish. And they took their particular story of the Camelot, which was brought over by the Moors, who got it out of Egypt, of Hemmitt. Even in your Wonderland Clark's book, Egyptian myths and symbols, they got up in there. They explained the whole Camelot thing up in there. So they got the whole thing. He came off, it comes from the word Oprah. You see it in the book, Serious Mystery by Robert Temple. They'll say the Oprah means dog stuff. Well, it's interesting because July 23rd, all that particular stuff is all talking about the summer solstice, where Sirius is closest to the earth. See what I'm saying? So now, the Camelot ritual comes from the Moors planted in Ireland, Britain conquered Ireland, take the middle island here called Britain Camelot. Then with the real Camelot was talking about Americans, was talking about black people from Egypt that will be in here, in the land far, far away. It's in your Hemmitt history also too, which is I get you also tonight. We went with the book of Ezekiel, and a couple other things also too. But anyway, the Camelot that we're talking about here was taken from Ireland by British and came from the Moors. So the Camelot that they're talking about here, they're reestablishing a Camelot over here, all those black people in America. We are the ones that comes from Egypt and all that, and reestablishing a Camelot. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, you know like we always got to punch some shit like he's the man. We know his thing. But anyway, so he even got the mythology going down about the Camelot thing. Now, on the other hand, we have this thing. We got the son that's dying as a ritual, a sacrifice. You kill the Christ. You see what I'm saying? He ain't the Christ, man. You just understand the ritual. Number two, go and look at any Egyptian mythology book, any verse book, or any Egyptian book where you are Camite book where you have little Egyptian art. And you will see there is a statue of Osiris standing with nut cheese and Isis on each side of him. And he's standing like this. Now Isis is his wife, or I said is his wife, and Nephilim is the damn sister. And he, you know, Osiris, he was a brother now. He broke both of them now in the mythology. He gets it on both, and both of them have children by him and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we still talk about a form of the Trinity. Okay, so don't get in this. You'll see, now didn't he get married to both sisters? You see what I'm talking about? He got married to both sisters standing side by side. It's the same old Italian thing. Plus you got to realize this. Kennedy died in 63. Almost 20 years later, the other white woman died. Jackie old ass died in 64. Excuse me, in 94 she died. And then the son died in 99. So there's still Isis, Osiris, and Horus. You see what I'm saying? So he had to die. Look at the movie Doom. When they're talking to one of the people, and he was saying they killed the father in the movie, and the guy that conspirator killed him. Kneel down beside him and say, you were already dead. You had to die. Which is also talking about the age-old mythology of the father having to die. So you had to die. So my point is, all of this is set up as an actual ritual, the actual go out. Now why is this? Obviously, they needed something to go out based on they took these Timothy's and chose them as a cycle to sacrifice a certain amount of people to get them to a certain amount of time zone. Then in 1999, 7 months from the sky will become a great king of terror. You understand? They put your $9 promises, they had to go call out another Timothy. Right after that, to get them to assure their life, they start calling out some Timothy motherfuckers to run on. They like 12 now. Oh, we got some other ones. You see, but the infertility wiped out the whole bloodline based on the whole male lineage, white people got the male lineage thing, with the whole John thing. This is all a ritual. But the key here is to let you know that this is some very serious things. It's almost like we got to get past this hurdle in the 90s to go into the year 2000. So you have to have this mass ritual. Now the ritual started, it lasted almost 2 weeks. Because you got to realize all those magazines, this is almost like a festival, a jamboree, a celebration. You see what I'm saying? You go look at any ancient mythology, you'll see the Set Festival, you'll see the Sukkot Festival, you'll see several festivals that in every ancient civilization they have festivals during the summer solstice month. You see what I'm saying? So all the magazines and all this stuff is about the festival. After shit dies down, John is dying down, then they say, well, let's go reactivate some stuff. They go up in here, get the stockbroker, go downtown and shoot up all the products down on the food market. And you thinking that's some shit that randomly happened. You know, right off to this whole family, get in the car, go kill him, and then walk down the damn street, blah. They never back get all the way home and kill himself. Come on, man, you believe that shit? A nigga can't even get out the front damn door. You understand what I'm saying? You're not walking his car. Did you pay that bill? You know the restaurant. You pay that, you got to walk in his car to get some money. You better don't let a white boy, that shit was all set up. Oh, we can't let it down because we can't let it down because now we got to go, we're in the middle of this eclipse. All in the part of this. So what we do? We go and a man go up in the Jewish place, kill up a whole bunch of Jews, or shoot up some people, then kill none of them, shoot up the place, get away. They don't know who the hell he is. He turned himself in and all that, they know everything about his life. He's a white supremacist. They've been tracking him for years. Come on, man, come on, you fool somebody. Now, you didn't know who the hell this man was the day before. Now, all of a sudden, you know what damn broadside this man was. See what I'm saying? And it just so happens to be the Jewish thing. You see what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be, you can quote me on this, I wouldn't be surprised if that earthquake was man-made, because we know they got the technology to do that. You see what I'm saying? Because they're all because and I knew so when they coincided with the Kenya thing that they blew up last year. They said, well, you had the Kenyan thing that went down, and the same people working on the thing from Kenya were on this. I said, oh, here it comes now. You see, so they're trying to get you past a certain amount of cycle because the first rule of mind control is to occupy the mind based on distraction. And they got to give a certain amount of people to think a certain way, especially in the summer solstice month. It's almost like to say, if the music stops playing, you will wake up. You see what I'm saying? You will wake up. I often asked you this question before. I said, all those years when I was dead, what was I thinking about? All this knowledge. But yet I was occupied back then and happy. I found out what it was. It's the music. If you play certain music, you'll find out that the music, some stuff that you heard in the 1980s and 1970s, you might not like when it was new. But you hear it now and you really get into it because it reminds you of a time when you was living. You see what I'm saying? This is a form of mind control to give you constant music over and over again. You never wake up. It ain't music soothes the savage beast. See what I'm saying? Now you get on here, I get on the morning. I get on the damn morning. I look. I see all the white people with books. I see all the white people with headphones. Shit a lot of rich, but I see the white people with books. And I see the black. It was so much the white boys, they must have some soccer team, some top soccer team. You know, they got a little girl joking all around and stuff. They was making fun of everything. So one guy was dancing just some dancing. I was like, this dancing like this. And then I looked at him, what he was doing, he was making fun, because behind him was a brother whose headphones were so loud that he could hear all the damn music. So he started dancing and they was making fun of this nigga. You see what I'm saying? But the key is like keeping it up that you hooked on music. You see what I'm saying? Now you got bad music now, and I understood what was going on. I was out at the bookstore buying some albums about a week ago, and I had all this stuff, this old stuff, and I said, damn, he said, that's old. I said, so yeah, it's old. I know it's old, you know. I said, well, it's 1989, that was shit, you know. And see, what he was saying is that if you go buy music, it has to be new. And even if it's bad music, I gotta buy it. Even if Mary J. Blige can't sing, you go buy Mary J. Blige. Who can't sing? You don't think it's bad music. It's a good experience. It doesn't, you know, it's American, I can't sing. But you know a lot of music, like you bought Crystal Waters, but her shit was funny because she had this is dance music. You understand what I'm saying? But you go buy Mary J. Blige, in the case of a Lisa Burton now. You used to buy Lisa, now you buy Mary J. Blige. You gotta have something, but you gotta continuously buy stuff. You see what I'm saying? If the music goes down and your mind can think, and the God can come back. It's all part of a damn trance. And now they say, well, we're just going to give them bad music. Now, this is the bad music. They got the technology now to give you a sound that does not penetrate your outer ear. They can give you certain notes now. CD technology, and basically because they have the music companies that's rooting this shit, they can give you certain notes that you can hear the music. But the music cannot penetrate inside of the brain of the melody. So therefore, you see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is that this here, basically you can tell, basically, you can take all the music off of all the new stuff, all the singing off of the new stuff, and listen to it. The music, you couldn't even hear notes off of it. You couldn't even carry it to it. It would be hardly no music at all. So basically, the technology is to give you a whole bunch of music that is really not music at all. You notice the difference, there's certain options when you can be able to have a dog whistle and blow a whistle. You see what I'm saying? And the dog can hear it. Well, they can do the same thing also too by even fooling you. You thinking you listen to music, and it's not music at all, with the CD technology. But on the other hand, they can still keep the people going because the music is a part of our everyday life. In the car, you know what I'm saying, on the radio. You never stop. And so what happens with black people, by us having melody, we have an addiction to the music. See people else there, he said black people are addicted to music. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, I was asking myself what I was doing when I was there. I used to go to the music store, and I would buy like 3 or 4, 5 albums a week. And that's what I did. I didn't dream and stuff like that. Now, I just bought a whole bunch of music. I got 5,000 albums now. You see what I'm saying? I only slowed down when the damn CDs came out. A little bit too high. But at that time I thought it came out when I was buying books. So I couldn't buy all the stuff. But the point is, I remember what it was that kept me asleep all these years. It was all in the music, every day of life, every month. It never stopped, over and over and over again. And my mom used to say, she said, you know you ain't gonna never get on top of that. You just have to stop it one day. She said, because there's always gonna be some new shit coming out. And that's a part of the mind control. So that's what keeps the masses of the people asleep. You see, especially black people, when we are basically sound-oriented people in the first place. We're talking about some advanced stuff, but the music scales all come out of Trinity. And it's all directly related to music, to melody. They took the actual alchemical production of melody and they made scales to it. We got that now in some books. There's several books that's coming out now based on that. You see what I'm saying? But if you limit the amount of stuff, then on the other hand, you can dictate the quality shit. You know the good shit when you hear it. You see what I'm saying? You know the good stuff when you hear it. So this is some stuff that we're dealing with right now. But you got the shooting ritual going on. Now you got this stuff called TP20 drug. It's supposed to regrow brain cells. That's nothing but melon. That's all that shit is. That's all that is. Do you know that most of your damn Prozac that they have these white kids on and shit, this Prozac shit is melanin based? Most of that stuff was cooked up at Lilly Pharmaceutical in Indianapolis, and most of that stuff had something to do with melanin. Because most of the melatonin program that went on, and I said before, most of that stuff came out of Lilly Pharmaceutical, and also, but that's when they just manufactured it. But the actual production on where they first got this grabbing the shit out of mass Negroes was Grady Memorial Hospital and the CDC. You see what I'm saying? And the CDC. You see, that's where they got most of this particular stuff. No matter you might wear the grade, you ain't in on this shit. You can wear the grade a million years and don't know what the fuck going on. It call like, don't know, it means that you can't go on a certain crap all of this. You see what I'm saying? So we're talking about they're cooking on this particular stuff right there, and so they got this new stuff that they want to stroke patients and all this kind of stuff. And you saw the movie with LL Cool J, Deep Blue Sea, and they were talking about the whole thing based on what they can do, like growing brain cells and all for stroke patients and all that through the actual shot. And I think the movie was a little corny, but I think the movie was a great movie because LL, the black man saved the day. He was the damn way to save the earth. He did save the earth properly. But he saved the world. He saved the world from the shark getting out. But I was amazed. They killed him for that. They killed one black guy. So they killed Samuel L. Jackson. And that was the funniest damn death ever. But LL got away. And I just knew LL was dead when the damn shark bit. But anyway, what I'm trying to go at is this particular stuff. This brain stuff where they can they say they got this tool you can take it to regrow brain cells. What we're saying is the majority of the research now is coming from any pharmaceutical company is thousands of products to put on like all based on melanin. So we're not talking about melatonin now. They literally is taking one race of people and tipping them off. He said it's natural selection. Now remember now, it's not talking what Darwin said. Darwin said in his book, and Darwin said, I think I quoted it last time, Darwin said that I believe that the civilized people of the earth will rise up and kill the savages in the end. Now, who the hell they call savages? They were talking about us, and we know that Darwin is also an advanced secret society. Now, this particular book, and I said this before, this is a comic book. This is a comic book. Called the Nephilim. It's a role-playing book. The Nephilim, those are the ones who came down. That's in your Bible. This is the book on the Nephilim now. In this book, they talk about how Charles Darwin was a part of the Illuminati. And how Charles Darwin came together with the Illuminati and the New World Order and these secret societies, and they chucked it, and they basically copied this plucked up this whole natural selection and man came from ape bullshit to throw off the fact that the black man, the Nephilim, had free history. So you say everybody could draw come from apes. Now this is the established factor in all what you call collegiate studies is most of the collegiate thing they start from the ape shit in Darwin's theory. And here's this book called The Nephilim that deals with that, and it's talking about the black man and the black woman who they say are the Nephilim. They say the truth, and they say, well, who are the Nephilim? They say, oh, you will find the Nephilim on the planet when you go to the fucking jails. What does that mean? So when you go to the jail, you will find the Nephilim in the jailhouse. They say, well, why? They say, the Nephilim subconsciously have been around on the planet so long until these laws, they don't have allegiance to these laws subconsciously, although they don't know it. Their inner self has been around for countless of generations reincarnated, and they remember when these people so far that's making the laws weren't even on the planet. So by them being so old, they can now adhere to the actual laws that these later day people, which is the white man, makes. Because subconsciously he knows that that's some bullshit. So he breaks the law in rebellion to it, although he might not know it. He subconsciously punishment over there. So you can find the Nephilim in the jailhouse. But it also says, you know, angels have passed and you have lived many times. Your slaves built the pyramids in honor of you, in honor of your death. You died for the sins of Jerusalem. Well, any mythology that you even get right or wrong, it's still saying it's back. You lost your head suggesting they eat cake. You are a Nephilim, a demigod, a prophet, a saint, a magician from the mystic path. Again, you incarnate to continue your struggle for enlightenment and against the plot of the occult societies, secret societies, who seek to enslave you and steal your magic. The magic they're talking about is melody. It's melody. But in this particular book, the whole thing on the Nephilim, black people, the whole thing on the Nephilim, black people. And this is all based on, this is a damn comic book. See what I'm saying? This is a comic book and all. You see what I'm saying? So, this is very key. So now, what I'm saying is, when they're talking about this magic, they're talking about melody, we're talking about the majority, whatever the deal is. Tell the point here. Yeah, whatever the deal is, anyway, all this melody that they're talking about, majority of any mind neural drugs, as well as anything now that they're talking about, they created all this stuff, is coming from the basis of melody. You see what I'm saying? It's coming from the basis of melody. It's what this shit is coming from. You see? And we're talking about thousands of products. You see? Very few that you understand at this particular time. So now, go see the movie Eyes Wide Shut before it goes out of the theater. Because this is a movie they put all the sex shit up in there. Throw your ass off. You thinking it's a movie about some, sexual promiscuity and some, infidelity. This movie is dropped in, and when you see the movie, you should literally be scared of what's really going down. Because it shows you the inside of society. How many people saw the movie yet? Eyes Wide Shut. Let me tell you what the real deal behind it. So when you go to see the movie, you can see and get a glimpse at the people who control your lives. Now remember in the book The Dark Sun by Peter Moon. And in that book they said we suggest that all of us are nothing but pawns from an elite group of people. We suggest that all of us are pawns from an elite group of people. And basically they can do with us what they want to do with us. Well, in this movie, Tom Cruise is playing this doctor that so-called got a little bit of money. But he ain't big enough. He don't want no island. You see what I'm saying? Although he's a doctor, and you'll see he's just throwing money freely away to home, he's just spending money, but he's not big enough. He's not big enough. He goes to a party, and he meets a friend that he went to med school with who dropped out and he started playing music. He goes by this particular club one night and the friend says, he said, is this all you do? He said, I got 2 gigs. He said, I got a job that starts at 2 o'clock in the morning after I get off from here around 1:30. He said, what is it? He said, hey. He said, all I know is they take me to this place blindfold. And he said, the blindfold be half on. He said, you should see the women at this party. And Tom Cruise said, I got to go. He said, I don't even know where it is. I get a password on how to get in this party, and the password comes every night. He said, and I go and they blindfold me, and they take me and I play piano for these people blindfolded. So he got the password, and Tom Cruise said, you got to give it to me. And he said, well, even if you did get the password, you got to have on a damn black cape and a costume and a mask, traditional Phantom of the Opera type bullshit, black cape, black outfit, tuxedo mask and all this. He said, now where you going to get a costume this late at night? Well, he's a doctor. So he goes to a place, and in so many words, he buys a costume, catches a cab out to this damn elite place. Get up in there, and they doing this damn ritual with all these naked white women, and these are secret society people, hundreds of them dressed in black. And in so many words, one of the prostitutes come up to him, this woman, and she said, your life is in danger. You better get the fuck up out of here. So many things. You done tapped into some stuff that's bigger than you. And he's still walking around, and they doing a sex tantric ritual going down in the movie. Anyway, they catch on that somebody is among them that's an intruder because this nigga gonna go up to a damn elite party with Mercedes-Benz Bentleys in a damn taxi cab. That was the first thing, and he got in with the password, but in so many words, they fished him out, and they was getting ready to end his life. Now they may like in the movie they're not gonna do it, but this woman, she takes his death for him, and they kill her in the movie. But in so many words, when they get at the end of the movie, he meets one of the friends that was a part that was in the actual ceremony that night, who was one of the elite people. He said, "What the fuck was you doing up in there?" You know, and he was telling him all this stuff, you know, saying you could have gotten killed. But the friend smoothed it over and was saying, you know, well, we wasn't killing about, we was playing a joke on you. But what the movie was actually showing you is there is an elite faction that's in the world today that's operating on an advanced level, and we as peons don't know what the fuck going on. We're talking about civil rights. You know what I'm saying? And I got the right to do this kind of shit here. And everybody's everybody. You see, it's just like the Ku Klux Klan. The Klan was an advanced esoteric Masonic organization. And by the time of the Civil War of Reconstruction, they started riding the horses and burning white people and all that type of stuff to stop the activity of the Reconstructionists, to make sure that Negroes don't get so much. As a result, it became old age, and it became to the particular point whereas all of redneck crackers with chewing tobacco was joining the Klan, and they looked up somewhere in the late damn 60s and they say, wait a minute, this is an advanced organization. And now they got damn, Johnny Do-Good fucking his sister, cornbread eating, chewing tobacco crackers up in here. So it was the advanced head of the Ku Klux Klan that declared war on all of the doggone unfit redneck crackers because it got out of hand. So as a result, they went and they did the whole civil rights thing, and they cleaned out them because they had the FBI come in and wipe them out, and they wiped all the redneck crackers down and suppressed their behinds. Because, your ritual robe that they got on was an advanced robe out of Egypt, Hemmitt. That's right. That's an advanced robe out of Hemmitt. You really look at it, you can see that the robe is not just some sheet. They show you burning some hole in. That's some bullshit. This shit is, the cone-shaped helmet, the white thing, same as the lawyer shit. You take the lawyer's name or the judge's name and put a hood on it, it's the same shit. Because it's the same organization. That's right. He just don't have the hood on. So once they doggone took the FBI and they declared war on the redneck faction, they killed all those particular ones that they suppressed it, where they literally broke the struggle of the redneck crackers, and they isolated them out. You see what I'm saying? They locked them all up and made it a government activity where they doggone suppressed them. And once they cleaned it up, it became neoconservative and the Conservative Party. So when the redneck crackers was cheering for Ronald Reagan, he was like, I don't have nothing to do with you all. I'm a part of the old crew, the ones where we got together and wiped y'all asses out. You see what I'm saying? So now, the neoconservative faction is this advanced KKK thing, is the whole city government from coast to coast. Right. And you still stuck in it and don't understand that shit. All that shit is conservative, what you call conservative. Now you niggas talking they conservative. That shit is Klan. And we still running around here talking about we free and all kind of bullshit. We don't understand that shit is advanced now. You see what I'm saying? Clinton a part of the whole thing. Democrat, Republican, whatever. It's all a part of the same organization, and we don't understand. So the movie Eyes Wide Shut is also showing you that this thing is bigger than you. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got no damn rights. You see what I'm saying? You just better grin and hope somebody don't kill your ass. You see, so the only thing for you is consciousness. You see. So also, during the same time of that Kennedy thing, they had the T.D. Jakes ritual. It was a damn ritual. They get all the feminine energy up in there. Woman art thou loose, looking at this fucking idiot. Y'all should have killed that motherfucker up there. Woman art thou loose. You don't understand. That's a ritual going on in the summer solstice. Just like the day that the summer solstice started. I mentioned this the last time. I don't know, it might have been a week after. The day that the summer solstice starts, they go out to Kroger, and they got sodas. They got fucking 12 packs. I damn near cost you $1. One can soda now. Go to the damn vending machine. Go to the movie theater. $2 in the movie theater. You get a can soda out of the machine. But yeah, they got Coca-Cola, 99 cents on summer solstice month. But they understand the number one key is to dehydrate you during the summer solstice month. Because we're going to get into it in a few minutes. Because it's all based on the whole endorphin system and the whole melanin realm. And the melanin realm deals with water. That's where your mermaid comes from. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. Atlantis, all that shit is talking about the inner workings of your body. So if they can dehydrate you, they can make it a desert, and they can dehydrate the actual alchemical process of what happens when the melanin happens, hits during the summer solstice. When the sun and the whole summer solstice, and because it's not the sun, it's the summer is when the star Sirius is closer to the earth. So therefore, if they can dehydrate you, they can stop certain things from rising. So therefore, at Kroger, because you know this Kroger down here on Cascade is the number one selling Kroger in the world. Whatever Kroger they got, wherever they got them, the number one that sell the most shit is the one up here. You go there, they got all on the floor. Food. I went in there, they had like 400 baskets for just food, just piled up, and meat rotting and shit. You see what I'm saying? But my point is, they had these sodas. I mean, they had looked like they brought them in by helicopter. It was so, I'm giving you the enormity of how big this shit was. And they had niggas up there had like 99 cents, had $30 worth. One nigga had like 10 on the bottle, 10 here, and 2 other cases full of shit. He was stocking up for $2,099. 99 cents in Cascade. You see what I'm saying? Dehydration, if they can give you that shit. Now, because you got to realize, I know some people in the project, I know a sister from the project, she said she don't drink water at all. This sister says that her whole intake of whatever is liquid is basically fucking Coca-Cola. She don't drink water at all. So it's also systematically done that the more oppressed you are based on economic stature, is the least amount of water you drink. You see what I'm saying? Plus, niggas drink sink water, which is the same shit. Dehydration. It's got the same stuff in it that dehydrates your ass. That's the key. So the key to the whole thing is water. So that's why they went and they had these sodas up there. But it was during the first day of the summer solstice. Very key. This is very key stuff that's actually going down. They announced recently in one of the newspapers I got on this deep impact. Anybody saw this thing? On one of the newspapers, look at this old big ass nigga here, TJ. Color picture. They don't put you in a color picture. Black man come to town talking some shit, he might, if he get in here, might be one little page somewhere near the ass in the back. If they even put it, most of them don't put it. Look at this. That's a government agent right there.
That's right.
That's what this nigga is. It's him and all these types of people and stuff. These are the type of people you gotta execute. You think it's some bullshit. This man ain't got shit to do with nothing spiritual whatsoever. Woman art thou loose. You see what I'm saying? The nerve of him to tell her damn, after the damn black woman done damn fixed all that grits and then changed your shitty diapers, for you to come up. That is this motherfucker here. Somebody had to cook all that food for his ass with a damn basketball head like this shit. And you got the gall to talk about woman art thou loose? A loose black woman, what got your ass here? Amen. And in Egypt and in Hemmitt, they worship the divine whore, which is what you're supposed to be. That's right. We'll get into that. Anybody want to challenge me on this, you feel free to. You feel free to do this shit. You see, but there was a part in here in one of these particular papers where they had something based on the deep impact, where they sent in this rocket to go up to some comet, some meteor, to blow up some damn meteor, just like the movie. Then they said, oh, of course it didn't have nothing to do with the movie. Oh, bullshit. You got a movie called Deep Impact. They come out a year before you send an actual comet to go up and blow up some damn meteor, and it don't mean it's nothing to have nothing to do with the movie? Am I stupid? With Steven Spielberg in the movie Black son, get the book Black Sun, Peter Moon, and they tell you George Lucas and Steven Spielberg is all up in that shit for world domination and white supremacy. When he go and put Misa, you see this damn Star Wars shit with this guy Jar Jar being Misa, this whole damn old black Uncle Remus shit, and all the doggone brilliant white people talking like British. You see what I'm saying? Talking like British, and you don't think that this stuff is not has nothing to do with anything. You see, so that particular movie, that particular thing they sent on D-Film Pack is showing you that they're getting close because they're getting scared. They're getting scared. Now go get the movie Videodrome. It's a real weird movie. The guy David Cronenberg does a lot of weird stuff, but get the movie Videodrome. Because the movie talking about they're killing people in the movie based on this violence. But there's a part in the actual movie where they got the person who is the leader of this thing called Videodrome. He's the one that put it together. Then he put it together and found out he had tapped into an altered state of consciousness with this thing, and the government took it from him and killed it behind him. But in so many words, he talks about this. He said that the Videodrome, which is all this random acts of violence that they put on this particular thing through sexual behavior and all this stuff, he said in there, he said, I believe, he said that Videodrome has something to do with this growth in my brain. So he's supposed to have this tumor in his brain. The next time the guy puts one of the videos on and the founder is talking again, he said, I'm telling you that this tumor in my brain is not a tumor at all, but a growth of a new organ in my brain that's giving me other dimensional realities. He's talking about the pineal gland. He says, I believe, number one, he said that TV is the mind's eye. Whatever's on the TV will control the people in the future. Well, we already know that shit. But he said, I believe that these visions or this alternative realities that I am having in these particular fantasies or these dreams, based on this organ that's in my head that is growing, these dreams will become reality, and what you know as reality will become but a dream. It will disappear. He said, after all, what is reality but things that you perceive in the first place? You see, so he was talking about another world that is to come within your brain. You see what I'm saying? Very key that you get that particular movie, Now, it's interesting because one of the sisters, I don't know if she's here, but she was talking about how, just giving you some more update on how stuff is going. I met a sister, and it's always good to get this particular information because it verifies other stuff that I talked about over the past couple of years. This sister was telling me, and I don't think she got the lecture she was supposed to be here, that she got a friend that just got out of prison. But the friend told her that one night they came and got him. A group of people came and got him and took him somewhere, but he don't know what happened and where they took him or what happened to him ever since. He said, all I know is they came and got me one night and took me someplace. And I can't remember nothing since then, as far as what happened. But he's out of prison now. And in so many words, what they did is they came and got the original one of him, killed it and cloned it, and the clone only remembers the stuff up to that point. You see, and they wiped out that little bit of memory. Now go get the movie Johnny 2.0, because the Johnny 2.0, the clone woke up 20-something years later and was suspected it was the same day that the other brother got hit on the head. Go get the movie Johnny 2.0 with Jeff Fahey. It's all in the movie. So basically, the brother was verifying that they go and get a lot of these brothers to go to prison. Majority of them, they go in the cell and get them at night and clone them, and the person that come out is the robot. This is reality. Because one of the other sisters that used to come to a lot of my lectures said she got a brother that was in the first grade with her. And this brother grew up with her. And she's 35 now. And she said the brother got out of prison a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago. And she said, how old are you? He said, 20. And she said, he said 25. He didn't know what age he was. They grew up together. Now she's 35. Now hell, you know how old you are. You damn 30, 35. She said, so I talked to him last time and he said, well, I'm 30. She's 35. And he said, well, I'm 30. I'm 30. She said, I'm goddamn 35. This nigga was in first grade with me. We're the same age, because I know his birthday. Nigga don't even know his age now. So the clone must have been taped pretty good. The brother don't even know his age. And this is real shit. And he just now to 30, although he's 35. So this is just other stuff that is bearing witness to this stuff. But the sister was supposed to come. She was telling me that when she was in the late 60s, and she had gone. She said that she had pneumonia, and she said that she had pneumonia, and she said that one day the doctors came and got her and threw her mom out of the room. This was like 1968. She said, and threw the mama out the room, and she said, all I know is a bunch of white men standing around me, and they stuck this thing in my spine, and I was hollering like crazy. She said, that's basically what I could remember. And they stuck this thing in my spine. I said, yeah, because they were doing the experiments on you. They was going to do the cloning experiments by 1975. We got this stuff as early as 75 when they started messing with black people. Because even in your book, The Beginner's Guide to the Guide to the Star Wars Universe, that book on the Guide to the Star Wars Universe, and they talk about the Clone Wars. This is real deal shit. They said when they first started cloning, they could not clone people with the Force. The Force is melanin. So they were talking about black people in the movie. Because in the book, they got a part in the book, if you get the book, The Guide to the Star Wars Universe, which is an encyclopedia, they'll have a thing in there called sporadic clone cylinders. And they talk about these clone bats where they learn how to clone. So when you get the movie Judge Dredd, they said we can replace our own system in a day. This is reality we're talking about here. Anyway, and I'll tell you what a real clone is in a few minutes. You've seen this shit living with you right now. But anyway, they couldn't clone blacks at first, but they learned how to clone blacks because we know that they isolated the melanin gene in 1968, although they had learned about it to call it melanin in 1956. No, 1959. In 1959, they called it melanin, but it also has something to do with Carl Jung or Carl Jung because before it was called melanin, it had several names. Virile, the poets you heard, virile, occultum. But one of the ancient names of this stuff is called melanosis. That's the Greek though. The Latin word is called negrito. We'll get into that. The Latin word is called negrito, blackening substance. The Greek word is called melanosis. And Carl Jung used this particular word in his particular clinical psychiatry book, and in this particular book. But we know that they found out about the mysteries of this stuff from Hitler. We just recap for people who heard this before. A lot of this stuff came from when they really tapped into the mysteries based on Hitler and the whole concentration camp with Joseph Mengele. But Joseph Mengele was smuggled out of Germany, went to Yale and worked with them, and then went to South America, and they did all this work. As a result of Yale and Princeton, all this shit is all up in there. And I think the Jung ass is from Germany. Ain't that a bitch? See, it's all come together. Anyway, he comes up with melanosis. They call it melanin in 1959. By 1967 or 68, they isolated the actual germ. But you remember now they had learned how to clone people in 1945 with Joseph Mengele and the whole master race program. So they started cloning in 1975 with a lot of stuff to start going down at that particular time. So when the sister got into the actual hospital with pneumonia and they were taking this amniotic fluid out of her, they were setting up this particular stuff to clone black people in 1975. And all up until 1975 they were doing experiments where it culminated into the Atlanta child murders, which was the height of the shit. You see what I'm saying? In 1981. You see what I'm saying? And from there on, the history is there. Crack cocaine, niggas shooting niggas, all that stuff is based on clones. This is a reality on what's actually with. So, but she also said that she was in the hospital and they came to her and told her son was dead. She said about 3 hours later they came back and said your son was alive. She said it was interesting. She said because this baby, she said she had no feeling towards it, and her spirit was telling her this baby is not my son. And she said not only that, she said she could walk out the room and leave the baby in there for hours and the baby would not even holler for her. He didn't even show any type of thing that she was a connection with the mother until he got older. You know, just like anything else, you know. After so many years, you get used to anything. You hang around a dog long enough, you get used to it. You see what I'm saying? But my point is, she said that these are the experiments that these crackers were doing. You You see, where they said her son had died, then they came and said, your son is alive. And she said she didn't have a connection with this son, and just, he so mysteriously died later on. I guess in his 20s or whatever the deal is. But these are some things that's also going down. I just wanted to deal with this particular stuff. A lot of the alien abductions. Now, mind you me with this bullshit. We see all this alien abductions from white people, and they're literally worldwide. But yet, we don't have no cases in the hood. None. Now, I have problems with that shit. Here we are, oldest people on the planet. Some blood-eyed man coming back and want to find out about Earth, and he going to go to the doggone, the doggone grafted man, the doggone robot man, the man who leaves, you see what I'm saying, resembles the original human. He ain't going to go to the original man. Yet we got all these damn niggas walking around in the ghetto, and we ain't got one case from 1947 when this shit started happening to 1999, and we ain't got no cases. And the only case we got is some day and something with some nigga that was married to some white woman in the 1950s get abducted. But the majority, 98% or 99% of all these Negroes in the black community, and we ain't got no cases of no abductions. None. That ought to let you know that first of all, it's for government shit. Number two, it's for shit to cover up for cloning. Because all the abductees have problems with missing time. See what I'm saying? So if you want to understand the history of cloning from 1947, goddamn it, just look at the UFO thing when it comes to the abduction. The abduction. For the middle back in the day, they don't abduct doggone black people, meaning they ain't got shit to do with nobody from space. But all these crackers are missing time. When you read this endless reports, we're talking about stuff that's on a government proportion now. We're not just talking about some fantasy stuff. We're just talking about Timothy Good book. We're just talking about thousands of books on all these abductions they print every day. And this is a reality. So how is it that they don't get the niggas from the ghetto, so we know it ain't got shit to do with no aliens. We the aliens. But yet all these crackers, all the way to, there's tons of cases every year, right now. That's because we're talking about cloning. And when you get cloned, a lot of times you miss time. It might take 3 hours for them to do the job. Might take a day. Who knows? But they miss time. All of them report missing time. But they don't report missing the amount of time that it threw off their whole day that they knew they was gone for a while. They just know that they missed some time, but it was right back into the function of everyday life that they went. You see what I'm saying? That's based on cloning. And they use the abduction thing to cover up that there was cloning even thousands of them. You see what I'm saying? That weren't elite. That's the key about people that's not elite. White people that's not elite get thrown into the mix with Negroes. So if they kill their own people, you know it's time out for us too. Let's go on because we got a lot of shit that's going down. Also too, during the whole time of the whole summer solstice, they threw in the affirmative action ritual. It's a ritual. Even one of the guys that stood up at the town meeting, he said, this is strategically done that they waited till 1999 to hit Atlanta. This thing would happen in 1995, they started dealing with it. By 96 election or whatever, they was really rolling with it. And then you got the Texas thing and California and all that shit. But they couldn't hit Atlanta first because this was too strong. So they waited until they got the movement of the whole other states and they came to Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? Came to Atlanta. Now, even one brother made this suggestion. He said that even Bill Campbell, who he know ain't about shit. We know that anybody sitting up in the man's seat ain't about nothing. Don't be fooled by this bullshit. But he said, are y'all ready to die for it? Or fight to the death? See, that's some major thing now for some affirmative action. That means in actuality, he's talking about some other shit. He said, are y'all ready to die? You see? So even he is all in the mix. You see? But my point is, if I don't give a shit about a nigga with no job, whether the cracker to hire him or not, that's no concern to me. Whether some white man black man get hired by some white man, you can't be a world-class pay people and be worried about your enemy giving you nothing. So I really don't care whether they can end this shit tomorrow. It don't make no difference to me. You know what I'm saying? He gonna nigga done went through three or four, 5 depressions since 1865. And you gonna be worried about a damn job? A nigga that's master eating light bread and water. And you think you worried about a first job? That's not even the point. On an advanced level, they threw it in the midst at a certain time, and they did that strategically in 1999. First of all, it's distraction. if they can distract you, they can control your mind. So what better way to distract black people, not the underclass, because they're the last stuff. You even separate yourself from them. Oh, everything become, you just ghetto now. You know, so they become the butt of all our jokes, the so-called underclass. But they're talking about when they do this, they're saying now the war is directed towards us, the so-called upward mobile. Mr. Morehouse and Clark, or Mr. Morehouse and Miss Spellman and all this kind of shit. Your ass can't get no job. Who gives a fuck about a damn nigga getting a job in the first place? You know what I'm saying and shit? Work at McDonald's until some shit gets out. I don't know. Fuck it. Some of us leave damn hungry. We ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? We get on the job, sister writing tickets. We out there talking to the damn sister. The 10 ain't even on the tag yet. Now you figure now, damn, she could hook a nigga up. America was built on the fucking hookup. Black America. But no, she got her little damn ticket writing job. So fuck somebody, but that's the same bitch that we trying to save some affirmative action shit. Some motherfucker giving you a goddamn ticket. You see what I'm saying? So I said, well, fuck damn nigga, you ain't doing shit but buying fucking cars. So who gives a damn whether you buy a new damn car? See what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to do. Get you a damn bicycle and put a lawnmower on it. Ride to a homemade motorcycle. You know, time out. You see, but all niggas is scared. So now you was all talking about cutting out the welfare. Now they after all the black bourgeoisie niggas. And believe me, when they cut it out, remember now, we already know. Now they got a reason to be concerned. Because if the white man don't have to hire you, he ain't gonna hire you. See what I'm saying? He's not gonna hire you. Very teach you understand that shit. But it's still a ritual for distraction. Let's go get through this particular stuff because we got to start the election in a few minutes. Did I leave it in the car? Did I leave it on top of the car? Hold on. I had it, let me see, first of all, let me find this book. I think I put it in his bag, no? Hold on 1 minute. Did I bring it in? Well, I'll get it in a minute. Hold on. No big deal, I'll get it in a minute. Did I leave it in the car? I couldn't have left it on top of the car. Anyway, let's go to Philip. It also says, there's a passage in there, apparently this particular stuff of divine wisdom just so happened to be deleted out of the Bible. And it says in the Gospel of Philip, which is concluded in the book, the other Bible, and it says that the slave seeks only to be free, but he does not hope to acquire the estate of his master. Is that other Bible? Did you see that book? Is it still in the car? It's in the car? Oh, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. I got it right here. I don't need it. So the key is, one of our ancient scriptures says that the slave seeks to be free, but he does not hope to acquire the state of his master. Well, as people on the earth, and this is about 5,000 years ago, they said that the black man's biggest problem, hermeneutical for 5,000 years, is we learned how to make another man. We've learned how to make another man. Now that's in the hermetical material. Well, see, it's interesting that we have talked about this before, but it's interesting we find that Mary Shelley, who gives you the book Frankenstein, in so many words, she's inspired by writing about this monster man, which is the white boy, which is the Yahoo story, her version of the Yahoo story, just as, what's his name version of the same Yahoo story, The Island of Dr. Moreau. H.G. Wells' story, she mentions this in her book, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I just thought I would mention that also, too, about that particular part also, too. Now, go back and read the movie Men in Black. In the movie Men in Black, because I told you before that we also know that every movie they killing the bug. We talk about this over and over again. They kill the bug in Men in Black. They kill the bug in Starship Troopers. They killed the bug was also in Lost in Space. Contact, the movie Mummy. Everywhere you deal with, they got the bug. Well, in the movie Men in Black, they go and they describe the bug. He's talking to Will Smith. First of all, Will Smith said, why don't you tell everybody about the aliens? People are smart. He said, no, you don't understand. He said, people are generally stupid. He said it might be individuals that's smart, but for most of the people they are stupid, and he's right. But in the movie they explain what the bug. Try to imagine a cockroach. Number one, a cockroach has been here since the beginning of time. Number two, the bitch is brown, so the Browner brothers, that's also connected with us. Imagine a cockroach with enormous strength. So he's not talking about a cockroach at all. With enormous strength, where the black man is strong. And it says, and a severe inferiority complex. Inferiority complex. Well, that's up. And a short temper. Who the hell is that when he sees you? Listen to what they're talking about in the movie. They were talking about your average Negro. You got a severe inferiority complex. You've been here, they call it cotton, you've been here since the beginning. You got enormous strength, that's the black man, but you got